thus far. Marcus Spears, who's the biggest threat to the Packers in the NFC?
The Dallas Cowboys are the biggest threat. And it's because defensively, I think this team is hitting on a cylinder that I really don't put any other team in the NFC on a level right now, with the ability to be multiple, what Micah Parsons does, and then, too, the pass rush up front between Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence, Trayvon Diggs back deep. And I wanted to see the matchup, y'all. I promise I want to see Devontae and Trayvon Diggs have an opportunity to go face-to-face in a playoff game that means a lot. I know this offense has been struggling for Dallas. I don't think this is the trend that's going to continue. And really, that's what this is based in. I think defensively, the Dallas Cowboys are where they need to be in order to give themselves a chance to win a Super Bowl or even get to one. Offensively, I think they will come along. It's almost like they switched positions with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs were struggling early. Dallas was on fire. Now the Chiefs have found their footing. Hopefully that cycle is coming back for Dallas to find where they are, and offensively, identity-wise, more creativity. Dak feeling more comfortable with his body, because I believe that's a part of why he's seemingly struggled down the stretch. I got the Dallas Cowboys being the biggest threat, mainly because that defense, to me, is the one that's going to give people the most problems when they get in the playoffs.
Yeah, for me, Marcus, I have two teams. I'll start with my first one. My first one is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. I think the San Francisco 49ers right now are playing a hell of a brand of football. And when you look at the Green Bay Packers, let's not forget, about 2 years ago, they physically outmatched the Green Bay Packers, right? And not a lot of turnover on that roster. You still have a lot of guys on that San Francisco 49ers team who are still there. Now, I do feel like this. They played each other already once this year, and a lot of people may forgot about this. But with 37 seconds left to go in the game, Aaron Rodgers had to go down and get a field goal. Now, the 49ers on the back end, they didn't do a great job of covering Devontae Adams, and that's the main reason why that happened. So I got the 49ers as my one team. The second team I got is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because as long as Tom Brady is over there, I think they have an opportunity. You've seen twice last year. They beat them in the regular season in Tampa. Then they beat them in the NFC Championship game in Green Bay. So my two teams right now for the Green Bay Packers that pose a threat, San Francisco 49ers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Harry, I respect that, and especially with the 49ers, because physicality travels on any day of the week in football. Here's the thing that because I'm gonna be honest with you, we went through production, we talked about this. I had the Rams. And I was thinking Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, with the matchup that you can get with him on any receiver that's top and dominant, the way Stafford is playing offensively. They've gotten the run game going better with Sony Michel and Henderson coming back. But when I look at Dallas, and Harry, you know how vitally important this is. They can win with a four-man rush. Yeah. And when you get to the playoffs, that changes the narrative for you as a football team. If we go back and we think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it was a four-man pass rush that dominated the playoffs last year. And I think the Dallas Cowboys has the opportunity to do that, especially with a healthy DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory. And that's the thing I think people forget. We are only 2 weeks in with a fully healthy Dallas defense that was already playing well. But the fact that you get DeMarcus Lawrence back, who is a Pro Bowler, a guy that can take over games in the pass rush, who plays the run as well as anybody, which I think is a very underrated part of his game. And then the way Randy Gregory was playing, he was trending towards being one of these guys with the most sacks in the NFL season. Neville Gallimore on the inside, a big physical press. Listen, man, I know I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, and I know how this is going to be perceived. But from a football standpoint alone, what Dan Quinn has done with this defense and the flexibility that they have to play whatever type of style you want to play, I think they're going to be a problem for the teams that we're talking about potentially going to the Super Bowl in Tampa and in Green Bay. That defense can make a difference for Dallas, and I'm not scared about the offense not finding a stride going forward, because when we start throwing out names of stars, Dallas is right there up with the top from an offensive standpoint as well.
Yeah, that's one reason why I picked the two teams that I picked, because of their front seven. You look at the San Francisco 49ers, you look at Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead. DJ Jones is playing a good brand of football. Then you look at Fred Warner. Now, if they can get Al Shazier back healthy, that front seven can create problems for Green Bay. But then you look at Tampa. You've seen what they did, like you just mentioned, to the Patrick Mahomes last year. It's not like those guys are gone. Those guys are still there. Yeah. That's why I chose those two teams.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.